Some show up at Keeneland just to be beautiful, some for the burgoo. Me, it's because the best handicapping challenge on God's green earth is right here in Kentucky. Star horses come from Florida, California, and New York, Arkansas, and Louisiana, all to what undoubtedly is the greatest horse racing melting pot in America.
Into the stretch at Keeneland, and Flight Line just moves right by. Life is good.
Win here and you've done something. Love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life. That's Keeneland. Now, let's get handicapping. And a pleasant Wednesday evening, everyone. Welcome into the Keeneland Look Ahead for the Thursday, October 12th card. I'm Jeremy Plonk from Horse Player Now and Keeneland.com. Tonight's show pre-recorded for you, not live at the 8:30 streaming time. I have a commitment with my daughter's volleyball game tonight, so I'm going to be out of town getting an advance recording on tonight's podcast before the Wednesday card is completed. We're 3 or 4 races into the card right now. Todd Pletcher with another big maiden winner on the card. His 2-year-olds are just running through the wind at Keeneland right now this season. That continues to be the case again after another big victory on Wednesday. For a full recap and a look ahead to the Thursday card, be sure to check out Keeneland today with Scott and Caton at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on race day for the Thursday program. I'm going to give you my handicapping insights for tonight's card, give you the big picture, also a look at the handicappers consensus. So let's get right into handicapping this Thursday 10-race program. This 10-race card, after having 8 on the program on a Wednesday, shakes out a lot different. We don't have the overlapping races in the pick 4s and pick 5s that we have on those 8-race cards. They are going to stay separated from one another. Pick 5 in the early version starts in race number 1, the first 5 on the card. Race number 2 starts the early pick 4, 2 through 5. Pick 6 will begin on race number 5. Again, races 5 through 10. The Keeneland Turf Pick 3 will be offered on races 5, 7, and 9. 5, 7, and 9. The odd numbers there on the Thursday card. Late pick 5 begins in race number 6. The final pick 4 on the card will begin in the 7th. Again, those Keeneland Turf Pick 3 races denoted in green. We've got 3 key plays for you again, and we'll tell you the details of what these headlines mean, but we've got ones in races 5, 6, and 10. So starting the pick 6 in the Keeneland Turf Pick 3 with a key play, maybe a horse whose light bulb has flipped on after a recent effort. And we're going to finish the card with a horse who might be able to get us a decent price on the way out. And we always like that in the Get Out special. Let's move on to race number 1 and get started with the handicapping here on the card. This handicapper selectors box, the consensus grid offered free every race day at Keeneland.com. You can also get my selections and my handicapping thoughts, my written blog, not only at Keeneland.com, but in Substack. So sign up at Substack, Jeremy Plonk at Substack, and you'll get it in your email inbox each and every race day. I've got Cadith in the opener, as does Caton Bradar. We're both on the same one. And here, One Giant Leap gets a couple calls from Tom Leach and Kim Nelson. Scott's going to take a chance on Chance, the 4 in here. So 3 different horses picked on top, but 2 have a little more prevalence with One Giant Leap, the 7-5 morning line favorite. This one goes for Wesley Ward. His horse is off to a decent start here at the meet. Not quite the hot barn you expect to see in the fall that we do in the spring with the Wesley Ward horses, but this one comes off a win in the spring meet when the Ward barn is absolutely on point. But One Giant Leap could give Ward a second win at the meet. Cadith is the horse I took in here, though. Another one by Honor Code. I love these Honor Codes on the main track. Another pedigree play here. And a horse making the first start after a race, or first start at Keeneland after a race at Churchill last time in Starter Allowance Company. Comes back for the same kind of class. Lindsey Schultz, a high percentage Barnes, had some success already with horses here at the short meet. So I'm looking for Cadith out of Churchill Downs to be the one to beat in here. One Giant Leap, obviously a major player. Attaché, the outside runner, my third choice in here for Paul McGee, coming off the claim from Keith DeSormo. But I think it's a 2-deep race. The handicappers, for the most part, in that same kind of boat. The 1 and the 3, the absolute key plays in here. Scott's taking a chance with number 4 named Chance. Tom Drury chains 20-1 in the morning line, appropriately named. You want to find out why Scott likes that one. Again, be sure to tune into the simulcast show tomorrow. And if you can't make the entire card, again, that preview show today at Keeneland, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Find out why Scott likes the 20-1 chance in race number 1. Let's go to the second race on the card, and Scott's got a price in the opener, and I've got myself one in here in race number 2 that I think could be a price. The name is Fujin, and Fujin, we're on an island with this one. Nobody else picking the 5 Fujin at 15-1 in the morning line. Amongst any of the other public handicappers not listed in the top 3 in here. The 6 Pass Line gets a couple top choices. Off the Hook, Lewis, 4 different horses picked on top amongst the 5 public handicappers in here. So a pretty wide open race in this maiden claimer. I'd said tough and spread. I've got 2 underlines under the word spread at the top of my past performances in here. Fujin's the one I'm going to take on top. Tim Pettia trains this one out of Canterbury Park. This is a trainer that does really good moving turf to dirt statistically, wins about 29%. The blinkers are off, and if you look at the form, the races at Indiana Grand, Horseshoe Indianapolis, Churchill Downs, and previously at Churchill Downs before that, Fujin's races on dirt are all pretty good. The races on turf weren't good. So the surface change and a barn that does very well in the turf to dirt maneuver is the reason why I'm on Fujin. Alonso Canones rides a really good finishing jockey from off the pace. We'll see what they do here with the 5 Fujin in terms of pace. I would have to think cutting back to 6 furlongs. The distance is the big question. The speed's going to have to come back, obviously, for a horse like Fujin to cut back and win going that short. But the career debut going 7 was a good rallying second. So maybe this horse has got a better late kick going shorter when the pace is fast and can kind of make a bit of a move. So Fujin, my top pick in here, off the clock, a horse you've got to watch with speed. This one also makes the turf to dirt move for trainer Tim Ham coming off a race at Saratoga. I think Lundberg's a horse who will also be up forwardly placed, has made the lead in a couple of its last 3 starts. So Lundberg one to watch near the front of the pack. I'm going for a price, though, in race number 2. Why not? 15-1 in there with Fujin. Pass Line, a horse that gets a couple top plays in here by the other public handicappers. This one comes out of a $50,000 maiden claimer at Churchill. And the Son of Straight Line made the lead last time out mid-race and then faded going 6.5. 6 furlongs could help that one. Just kind of a horse who gets a minor share more often than not. 3 of 5 in the money, looking for that first career win to this point. Brian Williamson trains Jareth Loveberry aboard. Pass Line, top pick for Caton and Scott. We go to the third race, and this is one of the stronger public handicapper touts of the meet, you would have to say. 4 of 5 on top. I don't think we've had a race yet this season where all 5 of us have had the exact same horse on top. 4 out of 5 on top for Beau's Artist. Beau's Artist in here, my top choice amongst those. This is a horse who easily has the best maiden win, and this is a non-winner of 2 lifetime race. So in a non-winner of 2, whether we're handicapping Keeneland or you're handicapping Delta Downs at night or any other track, horses in non-winners of 2 lifetime claiming races all have 1 career win at the most. Who won the best race? That's what I like to look for. And does that horse have any sort of form that makes you think they can be competitive? Beau's Artist won a maiden special weight at Fairgrounds. Easily the best maiden race amongst any of these horses in this non-winners of 2 lifetime. And the form looks competitive. Last time out, 30,000 non-winner of 2, similar condition, a good 4th at Churchill Downs. So I would think this horse would fit just fine. Has 1 career start over the track here at Keeneland. That was a good 4th place effort, beating just 2.5 lengths under Pratt back in the 22 spring meet. Martin Garcia rides now, a good speed jockey. I think they'll get this one out of the gate. Beau's Artiste, the 5, is the top pick in here, and the horse I think you've got to beat. On the outside, Royal Blood's another one at 2-1 in the morning line that's going to take a lot of play. I don't like that one as much, though. I think we're looking at the top pick in here in a potential single. The 5, Beau's Artiste, is the horse for me in this spot. Minnie's Ready, top pick in here. Kelly Von Hamel trains for Kim Nelson, giving that one a shot coming out of the races at Prairie Meadows in Iowa, dropping in for a claiming tag for the first time. Normally, you wouldn't look at a Prairie Meadows horse as being super competitive here at Keeneland, but what I like about Minnie's Ready, to back up Kim's pick a little bit, I don't necessarily endorse the horse in this particular race, not among my top 3, but anytime a horse can close and be fairly successful at Prairie Meadows, that's a good handicapping angle. One of the most speed favoring racetracks in all of North American racing. So horses are disadvantaged with the kind of running style Minnie's Ready had when she was racing at Prairie Meadows. Should be a more fair track here at Keeneland, we would think, and certainly the way the track is played through the first few days of the meet, a horse can win from off the pace. So Minnie's Ready, one you might want to consider, but not one for me necessarily, because I'm all in on the 5, Beau's Artist. I think that's a horse that we're going to single in the early pick 4 and pick 5, and look, can we get 2-1, 5-2? I don't think we're going to get the 7-2 morning line when you look at 4 of 5 public handicappers taking the same horse on top. Again, that's why we look at the handicappers consensus box as much as anything. We're trying to get a sense of where the public might wind up in these races, and using the morning line, using the public handicappers, that kind of gives you a better sense of what kind of price you can expect on a horse. 2-1, 5-2, I'd be perfectly fine with that runner, and I'm looking to single in race number 3 with the 5. Let's move to the 4th race on the program. Give yourself a peek back at the big picture as races 3 and 4 do not start any of the multi-race wagers in here. So 4th race on the card next up is going to be another spot where I think you've got one that you could lean on at a reasonable 2-3-1 price. I don't think we're going to get a big price, but I think the one Promise Me an Empire is going to be tough in here from the rail. I'm looking for a potential Robertino Diodoro speed pop here. This horse has been coming out of mile races, but this is a trainer that usually gets good early speed out of horses. This one, as it gets through its form cycle a couple times now, showed more speed in the second start. Now from the rail, I think they're going to have to ask for more. If this horse can get near the front, doesn't necessarily have to go to the absolute lead, but we don't know what the 2 has any speed with being a first-time starter. The 3 didn't show any speed in the career debut. The 4 is a turfer. The 5 has shown no speed. The 6 is a first-time starter. You've got to get all the way out to the 7 hole till you can find any horse who might have any sort of speed in here, that being Accommodate Eva. So I think the 1 can show speed in this particular field. And if that's the case, turning back from a mile to 7 furlongs could be extremely effective under Christian Torres. Looking for him to have some breakout races here as the Keeneland meet progresses on. He had a really good summer in Kentucky and a top rider at Oaklawn Park. As we get through the first weekend, right, Fall Stars weekend is a lot of the New York jocks, right? I mean, we saw Johnny V win 5 races. Irad Ortiz, a lot of the big riders, because we've got a lot of classy allowance and stakes races. But as this meet gets more blue collar into week 2, 3, and 4, jockeys like Christian Torres are going to have a lot more success because he's going to be leaning on a lot of the same barns that had success at Churchill and Ellis and in through Kentucky Downs. So I look for Christian Torres to have a good second half of this meet, beginning this week, even from week 2 through 4. I think he's going to pick up the pace. I like him on Promise Me an Empire. 3-1 in the morning line on the Diodoro trainee. I don't think we're going to get a huge price there. The other one, Accommodate Eva, 15-1 in the morning line. You certainly have to like that horse at a price. I think this is a horse who can be in the exotics. My second choice in the race. Kim Nelson's top pick again at 15-1 in the morning line. And in a race where everybody's going somewhere different, right? I've got the 1, Scott's got the 3, Kim's got the 7, the 10 and 11 get top picks from Tom and Caton. There's no reason why you can't get a horse in here at a price, especially on the underneath. So if you're looking for exotics, the 7 Accommodate Eva becomes a really interesting runner. The 8 My Side Hustle by Union Rags, a filly here from a sire who does really well with the horses running over the main track here at Keeneland. So Union Rags, a good local dirt sire here. I would expect the 8 My Side Hustle to run a big one. How am I going to attack race number 4? I'm looking for it from an intra-race standpoint because I like a key horse on top. I don't think we're going to get a big price on Promise Me an Empire. 2-1, 3-1, I'd be happy. But let's go for the tries in here. This is a situation where we got a 15-1 second choice, Accommodate Eva, and the 8, My Side Hustle, a horse we like quite a bit as well. So let's go with the 1 over the 7-8 with all in third, and then take 1 with all with the 7-8 in third to hit the trifecta. If we get the right winner and one of our 2 other key horses runs either second or third, we're going to hit a nice one. We'll hit the try and hopefully take down a long shot using the all spot in some of the other places. So Promise Me an Empire, top pick for me in race number 4. Now let's go to the 5th race on the program. This is going to be my first of the key plays so far. I do like that 4th race play. That fell just out of my top 3 in terms of key plays on the card, mainly because of the price on the horse picked on top in there, where we had a 3-1 shot picked on top. And I think we're probably going to go a little bit lower. So I tried to find a little more value with my key plays. And I'm going with this 10 in here, Zevrev. Zevrev is one of my key plays of the day. And this horse, 3-1 in the morning line, but I think we can get that price or more on this daughter or son of Oscar Performance. 6 beaten 2 3/4 lengths at Saratoga with a troubled trip in the debut. Again, this is Christian Torres, who could be sitting on a nice afternoon. Zevrev with a cleaner trip comes out of a good race where the winner, Agate Road, came back and won the Pilgrim Stakes. So I think the 10 in here is the key play. Also picked on top by Scott. We've got the 9, Thomas Aquinas, who's a top play for Kim Nelson. 7. Both Scott and I have that one picked second. So 10-9, both the top picks for Scott and I. The other horse in here that's getting attention, Radio Liberty, my third choice. Brad Cox trainee coming off a debut third place finish. Top pick for Caton and Tom. I think this is one where you can lean on Zverev. I really like this horse in this particular spot. Heavy on the exactas, 10-9 and 10-7. I don't necessarily think we want to go the trifecta route in here because we're not looking at a big price amongst the other horses, right? We like the 10 on top. And while we had a seven horse who was 15-1 in the previous race that get you excited about the exotics and the trifectas, I don't want too short prices amongst my 3 in a trifecta. So while I like logical horses 10, 9, 7 here in race number 5, that puts me on the exacta. I'd rather hit a $20 exacta in this particular spot than spend $20 in trifectas that spread out because I just don't think we're going to get a big enough payoff, especially with the 50-cent minimums. A lot of combinations are covered, especially the ones that are logical. So no trifecta play in race number 5, one of my key plays here, but it's a win bet. It's an exacta bet. We definitely want to lean in on the 5. And as you look at our key plays, as our board lights up here, we've got a key play in race 5 and race 6. So when you have key plays of the day that come in consecutive races, you also have to look strongly at the daily doubles. And if you're a pick 3 player, I'm not much of a pick 3 player unless I've got kind of 3 that I really want to cold punch. But we've got back-to-back races with key plays. So we obviously want to look at daily doubles in races 5 and 6. Race 5 is going to start the Keeneland Turf pick 3. I will start that wager with the 10 Zverev as a single in there in the Keeneland Turf pick 3, opening leg of the pick 6. Next up in the card is race number 6, and this is a race that just has a lot of pace to it. Horses from off the pace did better opening week at Keeneland than we'd expect normally. We don't know how the track's going to continue to play. We would assume speed's going to come back and be prominent here at the season, but to this point, if you've got a horse from off the pace, you've got a shot. Anytime you've got a race that's completely loaded with early speed, the race shape tells you that a horse from off the pace has a chance. Whether the track's playing the speed or not, race shape is very, very important. The 1, the 3, the 5, and the 8 all have a ton of early speed here in race number 6, and it's just a field of 8 where 4 of them want to go battle towards the front. I think we can find a horse from off the pace, and that's where I'm going to come up with another of my key plays of the day, and it's 12-1 in the morning line. The name is Rungius, and the 6th horse in here is going to hold the price probably based on the other public handicappers. Only Kim and Scott mention it in the top 3, and Rungius the 3rd pick in there. This is a late runner who's come from off the pace. Juan Cano off the claim. Now, you're not going to move horses up from Steven Asmussen and Robertino Diodoro, the guys who have trained this horse in the last 2 starts. But since this son of Liam's Map was claimed, the geldings rattled off a bullet workout at Churchill on the 26th. And Liam's Map, the sire, of course, we remember him winning the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile over the track at Keeneland. Liam's Map had 2 winners on the main track, one of 2 sires to have 2 winners opening week at Keeneland. So as a sire, off to a good start at the meet. Liam's Map sires Rungius in here, but it's not the pedigree play that I'm leaning on as much as I am the race shape. I really like the fact that 4 speed horses are going to go flying out of here. Rungius from off the pace at 12-1 under Adam Beschizza hopefully gets the last laugh, closing down the middle of the track. This is a good one to play on top and then also play second because a deep closer. Maybe this horse doesn't quite get up in time, run second. So use some combinations of horses you like in the exacta with Rungius to run second as well. But I got the 6 on top in here. Hopefully we can get that rolling daily double from Zverev, a 10-6 double in races 5 and 6 amongst my back-to-back key plays on the card. And again, as we look at the big picture, this is going to start the late pick 5. Now, would I single a closer like this on the class rise at a price? Maybe not. I think Rungius is a key play in here for me. Intra-race, because I love that 12-1 morning line. I would bet the horse down to 5 or 6-1, probably. 6-1 is probably about the bottom end that I would want on Rungius to get really excited about the win pool in here. But if horse goes lower than that, then we're going to have to look at the exotics for sure. Good Heart, Indulge, other horses in here that I definitely want to consider if you're looking at the multi-race bets. And if you're looking, of course, at the exotics in here, 7-6, 5-6 is the backup play. Good Heart, a top pick for some of the other handicappers as well as Indulge. Carmichael picked on top by Caton. I'll take a pass on Carmichael, a horse who's kind of flattened out late in the stretch in past races. And this race with so much speed, I want a horse who can finish, and that's why I'm going with the 6, Rungius. Tried to win 3 in a row off the maiden claimer, off the non-winners of 2, and now make this step up into the non-winners of 3 for a higher tag. Hopefully, the class will scare people away, not the running style, and we'll be able to get a decent price on Rungius. Next up is race number 7 on this 10-race card. It kicks off the late pick 4. It will also be the second leg of the Keeneland Turf Pick 3. Maiden special weights in here, going a distance of a mile on the grass. And we took a closer in race number 6 on the main track. We're taking another closer on race number 7 on the turf. That is Frontline Warrior for trainer Shug McGahee. Deep rally from 10th to be second at Kentucky Downs last time. Did show a little more tactical speed when running third all the way around at Saratoga, but I would expect Flavian Pratt's going to have this one towards the back of the pack and try to make one run. Frontline Warrior, my top pick in here. Also Kim Nelson and Tom Leach on the 3 in this particular spot. Edgartown, the 4, the 10 Mill Street, tops picks for Scott and Caton. I like some of the outside horses in here too. And going to Turf Mile, the outside post positions are no gift. Tireless, the 12 for Todd Pletcher, an $875,000 son of Not This Time. We've talked about Not This Time as the sire, and we've talked about Pletcher having such a great meet with the 2-year-olds. Tireless, you absolutely have to consider armed and dangerous, 12 posts or not. Not This Time sired 2 winners on the turf opening week. We talked about him as a dirt sire here at Keeneland having success, but a really good turf start to the meet opening week for Not This Time offspring. And Pletcher's just won everything in sight, almost all with the 2-year-olds, except the turf race, the mile that he won, the Coolmore Turf Mile with Up to the Mark. Almost all of his other success has been with these juveniles. So Tireless, Turf Mile, Juvenile, by Not This Time, Todd Pletcher. There is a ton to like about the 12 Tireless in here, who's going to be very formidable. The 3 Frontline Warrior, the horse I prefer best of the 2 in the head-to-head matchup, but I think you definitely want to be too deep in this particular spot. I like the 3. I like the 12. I think we're going to get a better price on the 3. The Pletcher horses are going to start to get bet like they can't lose because right now they are running so well. You would expect the public to kind of turn around on that and really jump in on them. The 14 Round Top is a war front that you want to keep an eye on for Grand Motion if able to draw in from the also eligible list. I would go 3 deep if the 14 draws into the race. If the 14 does not get in the race, to me, it's a 2 deep situation in the Keeneland Turf Pick 5. So again, as we look at that Keeneland Turf Pick 5, it's races 5 and 7. I had the single that I loved in there, Zevrev, in race number 5. And then we've got here in the 7th race, this is a horse, Frontline Warrior and Tireless, 2 deep. So I think this is a Keeneland Turf Pick 3 that we want to get interested in on the Thursday program. We've just 1 by 2. Even if you went 2 by 2 and took Thomas Aquinas as well in race number 5, you're not that deep. And I'm in for a single by 2. 1 by 2 so far in the Keeneland Turf Pick 3 in races 5 and 7. Let's go to the 8th race on the card, see who the public handicappers have in the 8th. The 8th is an allowance optional claimer. Second level allowance, non-winners at 2 lifetime or 2 other than lifetime. So haven't won 2 allowance races or 2 stakes races up to this point. Little Prankster, even money on Nick Tamero's morning line. Very sharp performer coming off a back-to-back wins. Has never run worse than second for Phil Bauer in 5 career starts. Couple bullet workouts since the Saratoga summer season where Little Prankster was so sharp. This daughter, a practical joke. Even money on the morning line, and 4 public handicappers have her on top. The other has her second. Kim Nelson going with Aunt Becca. Aunt Becca, the second choice for 3 of our handicappers. So basically, this looks like a 2-horse race, right? The 7, Little Prankster. The 4, Aunt Becca. Cherie DeVoe trains Aunt Becca and could be an absolute horse for course, Aunt Becca, in here. And that's why I think you want to go deep in here. Even though Little Prankster's the even money favorite, I think you want to use both of these horses in the multi-race wagers because Aunt Becca won here at Keeneland. The only time she raced by 6 3/4 lengths, just drew off her 6 1/4 lengths, drew off and won easily. Then her workout locally here at Keeneland for this 2 works back on September 26th was bullet fastest of 19. This could be a filly who just absolutely loves it here at Keeneland and runs, exceptionally well here compared to other venues. So Aunt Becca, definitely a horse you want to use in here. 6 to 1 in the morning line. I can't see any way she's going to be 6 to 1. I think she'll be a clear second choice in here, probably 2 or 3 to 1. Do you want to play that against Little Prankster in a win bet? Not at 2 or 3 to 1. At 5 or 6 to 1, Little Becca or Aunt Becca would be a win bet in here to try to upset the even money favorite. I don't think you're going to get a good price, and I also don't think you're going to get anything in the exactas really to get excited about. So I think in this race, it's going too deep and seeing, which one of these two survives the race to get you through in the pick 4 and pick 5. I think you're either passing the race in race number 8 on an intra-race bet, or you're using both of them in a multi-race bet. But to me, a 2-horse race in the handicapper selectors box reinforces that. Race number 8 looking like a 2-horse race between Little Prankster, the favorite, and Aunt Becca, the potential real horse for course. We go to the 9th race, the co-featured allowance at 1 mile and a 16th here. First level allowance race. Bill Mott's got a horse in here named Mr. McGregor that 2 of us have picked on top as the top choice from the rail for myself and also Tom Leach. King Curlin, Tall Boy, Safe Trip Home also get calls in here as top choices. Tom and I both have 2 of those underneath. So, look, this looks like some combination of 1, 10, and 3, according to the consensus of us. Caton's got the 5, Safe Trip Home at 15-1 in the morning line. Interesting to hear her reasoning on that one while she's on the island with Safe Trip Home. Tune in to Today at Keeneland, 11:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow to find out why Caton's on such a nice price there at 15-1 in the morning line. But I'm going with Mr. McGregor in this particular spot. The Into Mischief Colt comes off a win at Kentucky Downs last time. Look, these entry-level allowance races and turf allowance races in general at Keeneland in the fall are havens for the horses out of Kentucky Downs. I really look forward to the Kentucky Downs horses excelling in these particular spots. You've got Mott, you've got the rail, you've got Rosario. There's a lot to like here in a mile and a 16th turf race. So give me Mr. McGregor, who should be forwardly placed, not far off the pace at any point in time in this race. It could even go to the lead in here and try to wire them, but there is some other speed in the race. All Choked Up may go. Gatlinburg, some horses from the outside may have to be sent, like Blame the Good Times from a wide post position. But from the rail, you don't have to gun. You just need to get and secure good position into the clubhouse turn so you don't lose all of your position and kind of get shuffled back in there. Rosario, an excellent rider. I think he'll get a good trip. Mr. McGregor, top pick for me in race number 9. The allowance co-feature. Let's go to the 10th and final on the card, and the 9th race is going to be part of that Keeneland Turf Pick 3 too. I want to mention that. I think the 1, the 10, and the 3, if you're going to go in this race, I think 3 deep in the Keeneland Turf Pick 3. So 1 by 2 by 3, the way I have it lined up in the Keeneland Turf Pick 3. To the 10th and final race on the program, we're looking for one of our key plays of the day here to maybe get us a little bit of an overlay price, because Nurse Kringle Dances, the 5, makes a surface change from turf to dirt and gets back to dirt. And I think that could help the odds of this particular performer, because the last couple on turf were not representative of as well as she ran when she was on the dirt. So back to a preferred surface. Give me the 3 Nurse Kringle Dances, 12-1 in the morning line. And hopefully we can hold that price, because only 2 other handicappers use this horse in the top 3. Nobody's got him on top, and so or got her on top. So it's Nurse Kringle's Dances, the return to the main track, and also like the blinkers on in this particular spot for trainer Ian Wilkes. Not a move that he's like statistically excellent at, but his horses develop over time. This horse has had a lot of chances. Now gets back to the main track. First time with the blinkers on the main, and I think Nurse Kringle Dances is going to wake up here on the dirt. Other horses in here to watch. Number 10, Oh My God, second pick here by me, and top choice by Scott and Tom Leach. And also St. Benedict's Prep. St. Benedict's Prep, the 8-5 morning line favorite. Trainer Chad Brown dropping that one in class. Brown off to a fast start at the meet. Did really well here opening weekend with classier sorts. We don't see him in the maiden claiming ranks too often here at Keeneland, but certainly you got to respect anything he drops in class like this. St. Benedict's Prep, one to watch. 5, 10, and 9. I think you get through the race if you have those. She's a small town girl, the 7, certainly another one you might want to consider. So if you went 4 deep in the multi-race wagers to get out of here, I think you get it with 5, 7, 9, and 10. But I'm on Nurse Kringle Dances, 12-1 in the morning line, hopefully as our final key play of the day to get us a really nice price. That's going to wrap up the Keeneland Look Ahead for the Thursday program. No full recap of the Wednesday action. Again, tonight's stream pre-recorded before the Wednesday card was completed due to a scheduling problem for me. So we will be back live with you on Thursday night, previewing the Friday card. That'll be our next live stream coming up 8:30 Eastern on Thursday night towards the Friday racing. If you'd like to get handicapping information sent to your email inbox directly from me, sign up at Substack, where Jeremy Plonk, all one word, no space, is where you sign in. JeremyPlonk.substack.com. Sign up, click on the subscribe button there. Totally free. We'll send you information throughout the course of the Keeneland meet and racing around the country once the Keeneland season is over. a little thing called Breeders' Cup coming up in a few weeks. So good time to follow on Substack. Thank you for joining us tonight. On behalf of Horse Player Now and Keeneland Racecourse, I'm Jeremy Plonk. Have a great night. We'll talk to you on Thursday night. Good luck on the Thursday card, everyone.